Big round of applause for Erica, everybody.
We're the same size. I don't believe in God, but I do believe in ghosts. Because when I was 12 years old, my father and my mother and my sister and I were driving from Rockford, Illinois to Devil's Lake. And this is the time before Google Maps, and my dad loves the scenic route, so we often found places that we didn't expect to find. And when we saw a swing set in a park on the side of a road in rural Wisconsin, we'd all been in the car for about an hour and a half, and with small children, that seems a lot longer than it is. So we stopped, and we decided to take a little rest and play on the swings. We get out of a car. No one else is there. It's silent. The swings are creaking and moaning and groaning, and it seems much louder than it is because there's no one else there. And I grew up in Rockford, Illinois, where there are effigy mounds at Beatty Park. And because I was a 12-year-old kid at the time and an asshole, as many 12-year-old children are, I thought they were boring. Because they're shaped like a circle, a cone. One of them's shaped like a turtle. And you're like, a turtle? So I was familiar with effigy mounds because they were in our park, near our house. But again, I was an asshole and I didn't think they were that cool. So we see over here there's an effigy. So the ones in Rockford, Illinois, they're roped off because people were walking on them and destroying them, so you couldn't touch them anymore. So there's this mound here at this park, and it's not roped off. And you can touch it, and it's shaped like a human. And I decide, because I'm 12 and I'm an asshole, that I'm gonna go touch it, and I'm gonna walk on it, and I wanna see how it feels. So I go over, and I start to walk, and again, it's quiet, it's silent, no one's there but us. And my sister, always a little more intuitive and sensitive than I, is holding back. And I'm making fun of her. Come with me, come touch it, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't want to. The closer I get, the more I feel the air get cold, and it gets thick. And there's the feeling of something that wasn't aware of me kind of turn, and now it is. And I feel that feeling of being assessed by something bigger than myself. And again, as I mentioned, I'm not religious. I didn't grow up in the church. I don't understand that quiet, hushed feeling of waiting for someone to tell you what to believe. And I was very struck by this feeling because I'd never felt anything like that before. And as I'm feeling this feeling, my mom goes over to the little sign there, and she starts to read about this mound, and she reads to us that they think that this mound may have been a representation of a 1,000-year-old Native American god. These Native Americans that made the effigy mounds, they left us only piles of dirt. They didn't leave us writing. We don't know why they made them. It's very much a mystery. And she reads that back in the early 1900s, they decided that they were going to build a road. And they didn't care that this mound was where they wanted to build, so they pulled down they paved down the legs of the mound. It was about 214 feet long at the beginning, and they destroyed the last 50 feet of it, cutting off of its legs and paving them to make the road. And as she's reading about this, I'm feeling this feeling that there's something here that should be able to move, something that's caught between worlds, caught because it's no longer able to move, it doesn't have its legs, something that's caught with no believers, no followers, and no legs. And I have this overwhelming feeling that it should be able to get up and move around the park, but that all it can do is crawl. And I'm struck and I'm confused, and I'm 12, I'm kind of an asshole, and I don't really know what to think. And my family, I don't think any of us ever said we should go. It was just kind of a silent movement towards the car that we all seemed to agree upon at the same time. And further research led me to understand that in all of North America, Wisconsin is the epicenter of effigy mounds. We have more of them than any other state in all of North America, or Canada or Mexico. And Wisconsin is the only state that had any humanoid effigy mounds, and there's only one that remains. There's only 5 that they ever found and documented, all in Wisconsin, all destroyed. And there's only that one man mound in Baraboo that remains, caught like a roadkill squirrel being ground slowly into the road. His legs have been since drawn back on, like pale phantoms reaching across the road and terminating in the cow pasture beyond, but they're not what they once were. And my friends often say to me, "You're an atheist." I say, "It's complicated." They say, "You're an agnostic." I say, "It's complicated." And they want an explanation, and I say, "What do you call someone that doesn't believe in God but has felt a ghost?" Thank you.